Our student government report. Good evening.
Sitting on the board, we actually got a piece of paper.
Get used to it.
I love it.
Thank you.
No problem. Hello. Okay. Briefing.
Okay. Alright, in front of you, the first paper is a invitation to the pep rally and homecoming for this year. The second packet is the amended bell schedule for the pep rally on Friday. And I think there might be some information there regarding homecoming, but I think most of you folks is, all the information for both. For pep rally, we're going to have a shortened bell schedule, 30 minutes per period, and then the pep rally will occur during 7th, 8th, and 9th period. It addresses within the packet the senior picture for that day, AM and PM BOCES, fall athletes, marching band, kick line, all that. The marching band, the kick line, all the athletes will be announced on the loudspeaker around 12 o'clock to organize all them, and then pep rally should be starting on 12:30, 12:45. And then the day after we have the parade at, I believe, 12, and then the game itself is at 2 p.m. for homecoming. Upcoming this weekend, we have Safe Halloween on October 22nd. It's the same day as senior breakfast in the morning. It's a $5 admission, except for children with strollers. They come in free from 12 to 2 at the high school, and usually for kids up to around 3rd grade. And the only thing we ask is the $5 charge and then a non-perishable food item for the Thanksgiving food drive. Aside from that, we have the ABC Anti-Bullying Club hosting a paint night coming up, I think, next Wednesday in October. It's $25 total, and it includes food, materials, and snacks. And then you get $10 off if you have a sibling in Anti-Bullying Club. For student government, November 16th, we're going to the leadership conference again. This year it's going to be at Islip High School. It is an all-day field trip where we have 2 students go from each grade, 2 student officers, and then the officers from the student government. And we just go through a series of different classes and things like that based on, they're doing a little different this year, based on what you've chosen is the type of classes you'll take. So there's all different things that all of us chose to bring back to the building that we'll be learning here, all things about using social media to get the word out for things, organizing large-scale events, things like that, that they'll be teaching us there. And then I think, is that all I have? Oh yeah, I'm going to hand it over to Saba.
Hello. Ooh, don't want to do that. Okay. Hello. All right. So we have the Compassion Without Borders this year. It's from the Principals Association, which different schools within the town of Islip will be participating. I know as of right now, Smithtown has posted up little notes on their lockers. It's just little acts of random of kindness. They're trying to make this go all public, so ConnectWhat is trying to, we are going to start an Instagram account, posting on it for spreading the word, making more publicly known. Another thing we have is the Brady Buggy, which is not a fundraiser. We're collecting tabs from soda cans or pet food items, anything that has metal tabs, and that will be collected and cashed in for Brady Buggies. And Brady Buggies are animal-shaped wagons equipped with IV pole that holds the patient's medication. It allows them to be mobile even during chemo treatments. It's usually for younger children who are in the hospital, and we are going to cash all this money in and give it to one of the hospitals in Suffolk. So we are going to start that within this month, the end of the month. The deadline, we do not have that yet. Sorry.
So Miss Kennedy, is there a few words you'd like to say to these two young kids?
I was going to, but I was waiting for them to finish. This is their time.
Sorry.
You do you. I think we're good now.
Okay, well, I just want to say to the audience, that these two youngsters, these two future leaders, I should say, I asked for some community service, and not only did they come, they brought others. They didn't realize how sick I was, and they took over. They did it all. I just drove them around where they had to go. They are the future leaders of tomorrow. They really did a phenomenal job. They were there for 2 days. They were there all day. They brought kids in, and they scheduled the whole thing. So I want to publicly say thank you. You guys did a great job, and you are our future for tomorrow.
Send me an email about the caps and I'll send it through council, throughout all the PTAs.
The tabs?
PTAs, yeah.
Okay.
So, we can get that out through the PTAs.
Sounds good. Oh, yeah, so student government is selling these phone sleeves on the back of your phone. You just stick them on because you know how we have to carry around our IDs everywhere now for the bathroom. So we came up with an idea, why not put these phone sleeves? They're only $2 each. And if you guys might want to buy any, I do have some on hand, so the $2 each.
I want one.
This is for you.
We have no issue with you getting the word out. We ordered 1,500 of them.
Yeah.
So,
We already sold one box, so it's only been less than a week.
thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love those things. I just donate 5. Sure. Here. Did you see a receipt?
Not during school hours. Not during school hours. By the way, Miss Adams, I want to point out, this young lady goes to the Ronkonkoma Civic, and here's another future politician, because she's very involved with the Meet the Candidates Night, and you were there. Very nice to see kids attend the Civic.
Thanks, guys.
I need a motion and a second to suspend the business meeting.
Motion.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I have a motion and a second to convene the audit committee meeting.
Motion.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Our internal auditor, Sereni and Associates, came and tested the internal controls of the systems and procedures in place relative to the administration of benefits, which is actually not in my department, it's in Mr. Nucci's department. But I'm presenting because I do the audit sort of things. So they came and the major portion of their testing focused on the legitimacy and accuracy of the health benefits expenditures to ensure that health benefits being provided by the district are in accordance with contracts and policies approved by the board. They tested the benefits received by current employees, retirees, and also the declinations, ensuring that the benefits people are receiving are according to their bargaining unit contracts, and that it was proper and accurate as to them receiving such benefits and the amount they were receiving. The auditors, the CPA firm concluded that the district has implemented sufficient internal controls to ensure that health benefits expenditures are appropriate and that health benefits are provided in accordance with district contracts and policies. This really was a very outstanding report, and it reflects well on Mr. Nucci and on the principal clerk in his department, Barbara Evans, who is in effect the benefits administrator. This is a report from March, which I'm just having you officially accept now due to an oversight. I didn't present it sooner, although you did see it sooner. So I'm just asking that you accept it.
Exactly.
We have to do a motion, the next item is a motion, a resolution.
Okay.
Motion.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Done? Okay, can I have a motion and a second to adjourn?
Motion to it.
Second.
Out of the audit committee meeting? All in favor?
My motion, I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Now we need a motion and a second to move back into the reconvene business meeting.
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're going to move on to L, policy. I need a motion and a second to approve the first reading.
Motion,
Second.
All in favor?
aye.
Do we have discussion? Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Number 2, approval for the second reading. Motion?
Motion,
Second.
Any questions, concerns? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Number 3, no motion is needed. Any questions? Say again.
Number
Four.
four, it's just a review,
Number 4,
hasn't changed.
okay. Then I need a motion and a second to abolish the first reading.
motion,
Second.
All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Then a motion and a second for the abolishment of the second reading.
Motion,
Second.
All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Okay. Moving on to public comment. It's up to 30 minutes in length. This section of the agenda gives the Board of Education an opportunity to recognize persons who wish to raise a question or to make a brief statement on agenda matters only. All other topics will be recognized as time allows. The time available will be limited to 3 minutes for one or more topics. Comments should be kept as brief as possible and relate to school matters. Persons wishing to speak are asked to adhere to the following guidelines. Step to the podium, address the board president only. You may address one or more topics in the time allotted. Individual employees, parents, or children should not be identified by name, title, position, grade, or building. For safety, please exit from the podium after your time is concluded via the front of the podium and circle around to the left or the right to return to your seat. You may begin.
I think a lot of these questions are probably for Sharon. There was an article, I forget where it was, whether it was in Newsday or Facebook article pointing towards Newsday, about the comptroller for another district though, not us. They were paying overtime before it was approved by the Board of Education. And then many times I've seen that happen here, that the people have already worked, and then the board approves the overtime for things that they've already worked. So my question is, are we going to change that? So, because I don't want to wind up in Newsday, so we're going to change that?
But what their report said was that administrators were not pre-approving overtime with purpose for that overtime. The board receives a report on overtime, but it's administration, and yes, we do have that procedure here
Okay.
where administration approves, reviews overtime prior to it being
Worked.
worked.
Okay. There was also the auditor's report that you were talking about tonight, the invoice date preceding the PO. That was one of the moderate issues that they mentioned on there. Everything else was great on those reports.
Well, that was on the claims auditor report.
Yeah, the claims auditor report.
Yeah, that's a common problem in school districts where sometimes an invoice precedes the purchase order, which is not how it's supposed to go.
Right.
It happens from time to time.
How do they invoice us before they get a PO? Oh, did you place the order for it? Like, I'm just curious, how does that work?
It could be for an annual service, it could be for, say, a maintenance contract or something like
Okay.
that, where we know we need the service, and it's put in place due to an oversight without there being a requisition in place, which then flows through the purchasing director to
Okay,
become a purchase order.
that makes sense.
Yes, we try to minimize those, and apology process, and then you have to explain what you've done to correct your process, so you don't repeat that error. Sometimes it happens if there's a new clerical person in place, sometimes.
Listen, the report was great. There was two things on it that were concerning that, which isn't a big concern. But the other thing that was a big concern was $276,000 in late fees.
Oh, that had to do with,
That was my-
didn't it?
What, I didn't,
I
it
think
just
that
said
had to do-
$176,000 in late
I
fees.
think that had to do with an ancient battle that's been ongoing in the district between whoever is the company providing electric services, going back to now when it's PSE&G. And that was disputed, it was negotiated down, and finally resolved ultimately.
Oh, okay, because that was a big number, so,
It was a big number, it was
Yeah.
many years, it was very old.
right.
And in the past, the problem was we were not allowed to pay it. Not allowed to pay it, so then it was accruing on top of that, but it was
Right.
negotiated down. And again, there's a procedure in place now to speed up that payment process so that we don't incur that moving forward.
Okay. All right, thank you, Sharon. That was it for you. I have two more things. Lockout, lockdown, I know that there was one today. Just a suggestion, not really a question. There were some parents, I think, volunteering in one of the schools, and some of them have no idea which is which and what they're supposed to do. So maybe you could run a parent workshop to let parents know if they're volunteering in the building, this is what you have to do when a lockout or lockdown occurs. I think you guys, the kids know how to do it great, so I think it was handled wonderfully, but some of the parents just were a little like, what the heck are we doing here now? So, just a suggestion. The last thing I wanted to talk about really fast was when the hub was proposed a number of years ago, I came to the board and I asked for the board or the administration to write a letter to the town of Islip on our behalf, showing that they were concerned about the traffic because of the building of the hub, and concerned with it was the traffic for just the hub, okay. That wasn't, I don't think you guys ever wrote to the town on that behalf. Then I came to you guys again about the casino, because we do have seniors that are 18 years old, and I asked you again to write to the town to, oppose this, and letting 18-year-olds in there, and that it's not the normal for around here. And again, I don't think you guys did anything
I went to a rally. You were there.
individually. But as a board and a district, I asked for the
I just
support.
think as a board, we felt like, and I know we discussed this, just so that, I don't, you can stop or whatever. I think we just felt that the town of Islip, which is where we would write to, had nothing to say. We did contact our administrators.
They do though.
We
I
did
mean, it's
contact our
just a
legislatures.
show of support as a district or as a board
Because it was an
for our
Eileen.
community.
Do you want, our town attorney has to.
But hold on, I got the rest of my question. I just wanted to say now we have the Island Hills Golf and Country Club coming in, which will directly affect our community, not just with traffic, which I'm asking the school board to write a letter to the town ordering a traffic study, like I did for the hub. So you don't, not even for backing, just to get that traffic study. And also to find out how it's going to affect our children. So once again, I'm coming to you and asking you for your support for the community for something that's going to directly affect us now.
So I think there might be a process, Mike.
Hello? Hi.
A lot of
I
us
think there might be
now.
a process for engaging with the town through the Board of Education, so I'd like to look at that, especially when it comes to issues that may affect children and whether you can officially get involved in that as a Board of Education.
Well, as a district, couldn't we ask for a traffic, like for the hub, for instance, I asked the board to, at that time, ask for a traffic study because once they build all those things, it's going to affect the northern side that has to come over from
No, I
Cherokee,
understand.
you know what I'm saying?
understand.
So,
Absolutely.
oh,
I think there is a process for the Board of Education to get involved in that, so I have to look it up because I don't know the specifics right now. So I'd like to advise the
Okay.
board on that.
but it's not unheard of for a board or a district to
And
back
that's
the
why I'm
community
saying
in
I
these things.
believe that there's a process.
Okay.
No, no.
All right.
And as individual board members, obviously, you can use requests, but as a board, they would have to decide on
But
that.
individually, I knew they supported it, but as a board and a district, it's a bigger voice than
You can't-
just,
we can't
just
write-
Nick or Mylene going down there and saying, we don't like this.
Not as a board member, but as an individual in the community.
Right, as an individual in the community, that's what I'm saying, right. Okay, that was it for tonight.
Eileen, are you referring to, when you talk about traffic study in the hub, are you referring to
They
bus
did-
routes specifically, or are you talking to?
What they did was they did the traffic study up to the Islip side. So saying that there's no traffic going down Ocean Avenue at all. And what we wanted was the traffic study going down Ocean Avenue to show what an increase in traffic would be and how it would affect our children that live in Cherokee that are going over to RMS or the high school. And once that starts construction, which should be very soon, I think you guys are gonna have some transportation issues that you're gonna have to deal with, because we didn't think ahead to get the traffic study. Not that we didn't think ahead, you guys just didn't help me out there. But if you would look into that, that would be great, because now you're not gonna just get it from the north side, but you're also gonna get it from the south side when the Stop Island Hills, if, let's say if, the Stop Island Hills goes through, because we're working.
Well, they're gonna get something because it's someone's property and he gets to do certain things with
So,
his property. So
but then
we're
you're gonna
gonna
have
get some
traffic issues on both sides, going to the high school, and these kids, if they have to be in school, I don't know what time the high school starts, 7:05?
Yeah, 7:18.
7:18, okay, so they're gonna be on the bus for what, an hour before they get to school, if you got traffic issues on both sides?
They don't take the bus anyway.
As long as you don't take the.
No one takes the bus.
Oh, right,
Apparently,
that-
everybody drives.
Right,
because
I've
it
heard
takes
that,
45
I've
minutes to
heard
get to high
that.
school.
I've never driven my kids unless they were late, but I've heard that, but,
Well, as you know,
It's definitely
Eileen,
something to look.
as you know, Eileen, I'm one of the lead organizers
I know.
for the opposition of that.
I know you are.
And it's funny, I hear Lee making a comment, they're gonna build something. Well, there is a lot to it that I think I did a pretty good job with Patrick's help of educating the members of the community that, no, we don't have to settle for apartments. There is.
No, but it would be nice to get the board as a whole and the school district as a whole to get their help to oppose. Also, just so you know, the casino is operating illegally right now. We fought it, they won the Article 78, and they're operating illegally, so that could still be something that I would like, if you could look into that, I would like the board to get behind and the school district to get behind, because that, you know, you get an 18-year-old that gets in there. I already heard the fourth floor got some serious goings-ons that you don't want your kids around, so it's just something I think as a district we need to be supportive of.
Right. But as far as getting back to the Island Hills, in the corridor study, there was a 2009 study done, and it specifically talks about the Island Hills Golf Course and keeping it recreational or green space. So that traffic study, there was a traffic study, all types of studies done to support that Balloon had put out. So, you know, the residents are counting on it, keeping it very minimal, or ideally it would be green space, but there is studies that support that.
But a bigger
overdevelopment is not-
voice would be the school district being, you know, and the board and the district being able to support that idea.
We'll have-
So if you, yeah, I mean, that's the bottom line. If you, Lisa, if you could look into
What we
that.
can and cannot do. to
Right.
help.
Okay, I appreciate that, thank you. And Linda, thank you for answering those 100 questions online, I appreciate that as well.
I have two I still have to get to.
Okay, well, that's it now, Linda, you're fine.
Okay, moving on to N, recommended action, personnel matters, Schedule 1, resignations, terminations, leaves of absence. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Number 2, Schedule 2, appointments, 10-year salary changes. Can I get a motion?
Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Nothing for 3? Okay. Oh, recommended action, financial matters. I need a motion and a second to approve items 2 through 6.
Motion.
Second.
Questions?
No.
Concerns? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, P, consent agenda. A motion and a second for items 2 through 19.
Motion.
Second.
Any questions?
Yeah. Is that cheerleading boy get to go to any of these? Oh, that's what it is.
What was your question?
The boy that's
He's a
the
gymnast.
gymnastics boy. He's not in any of this?
No.
Oh, okay, so I just, that's what they did.
Sharon, do you want to discuss what the plan or no?
Yes, I would like to discuss what the plan to plan transfers about for amending the district's 403B retirement plan. A 403B retirement plan is similar. It's what nonprofits and school districts and hospitals have, maybe not hospitals, whereby employees can contribute on a tax-deferred basis to save for their own retirements. What I have put on the agenda is to allow for transfers both into our plan from another plan from an employee's prior employer, into that money that they have accumulated there, into our plan if they so choose, and likewise that they could transfer money out of our plan to another employer should they leave our employment or, under all the allowable circumstances. At the employee's discretion. Both of these things are at zero cost to the district. You're welcome.
Motion on the table.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, moving on to reports. Any Board of Education committee reports?
Oh, wait, you bypassed something.
Yes.
What?
You bypassed consent agenda 1 through...
We did that, we just did that.
Oh, wait a minute, you did? I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I was putting this pep rally in my calendar. I just had one question, I apologize. You went that pretty quickly. Dean, I guess this question is for you. I noticed that there was a transfer of $85,000 for the transfer to support classroom libraries in elementary,
Yes.
which I'm glad, but I want to know,
So we initially proposed our budget for this coming school year. Some of our expenditures for some of the texts, we have a new 5-year textbook replacement plan for our secondary schools. Some of those texts came in at higher cost than we had anticipated. In addition to that, we did a kind of an early adopters program for our reading units of study this past summer, where we had teachers voluntarily come in during the summer for training. And part of that training was that they would receive the kits as well as some classroom libraries. And the response was overwhelming. And in order to continue to support the program going forward and some of those initiatives, we needed some additional funds.
so is each of the elementary schools are going to be giving a certain budget for their libraries, or?
So this is different than the building libraries, which we do support also. This is for the individual teacher classroom libraries to support the literacy initiative that we have going forward. The research says that the teachers should have roughly around 500 level texts within their classrooms in order to support the different reading levels of their students. And we want to make sure that our teachers have the resources available for them for our students.
Awesome, okay, so it's the support math and the math and units of study.
This is the units of study.
We're providing classroom libraries, what you talk about as far as every classroom having a small library, or is it more of a generalized, like some buildings have a central closet in those libraries when you take out, or we have both, a combination of both? How's that
So true.
playing out?
Yep. Historically, we have had building book rooms, which are our building libraries.
Right.
What we are doing is a transition to an individual teacher's classroom library, and that way to better provide individualized instruction for students.
Will they have the same libraries, or will it vary so that they could possibly
The
switch off and on?
The base, the base of the library will be consistent. So, and that's one of our goals again is to provide that consistency across district, so that every classroom, every fourth grade teacher and student has that same experience. So there is a standardized library that we are purchasing, but teachers are supplementing with their own resources. Buildings are supplementing as well, so that teachers can share amongst themselves.
Excellent, thank you.
Those are the literacy books, right?
Yes.
And are we building upon that?
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
That's what you just, that's what you were just talking about.
Yeah.
Every classroom.
I love that, thank you, Dean.
Thanks, Dan.
Okay, Board of Education committees?
Went to the policy committee, we approved what we worked on last week. And the facilities committee, Linda, I'll let you talk about it. It was very interesting.
I would turn it over to John too, but I'm not going to.
I would have, Linda.
You want me to turn it over to
Turn
John?
it over to John, put him on the hot spot.
I'm sorry, John.
That's his baby anyway, so
It
let him
is.
take
All
over.
right.
Never who said that, John?
I think the emphasis was it's a Board of Education committee, so it's not my baby.
Right.
All right.
Wait,
So
is it good stuff, then Linda gets it. If it's bad stuff, then you get it.
No, this is
Oh.
good.
it's all mutual. It's all mutual.
It was very good, actually. It was a very good meeting.
So we have met again as a facility committee now that we have John Grillo on board. He's going through the process of all the administrative requests. He's actually putting some price tags to everything. So we went building by building last night and started looking at all the administrative requests that we've had over the past couple of years. And we started going through priority 1, priority 2. There's still a lot of information that still needs to be brought into the equation from a facility perspective. Infrastructure side, I need to get more information to him so we could do some more calculations. But we are hoping to have all that information to him by next Wednesday so that when we do our next meeting, the first week of November, we're going to actually be able to look at the project size, cross-reference it with all the individual building requests, and come up with the basic framework of a project. With that in mind, the facility committee should be able to come in front of the Board of Education and the community sometime in the end of November or December and present our preliminary recommendations. At that point, I'm sure there's going to be a whole lot of information, a whole lot of questions that are going to be asked on an individual basis, but we should be pretty close to being able to present that framework as early as this November.
John, I apologize, I couldn't make last night's meeting, but is there any way you can give me just a synopsis, so I'm caught up?
All the things that you asked for were cut, and all the things that Lee wanted were
Oh,
done.
man, no way, no way.
It's all about
I heard
presence.
somebody clapping, who was that? I asked real hot.
No, so we really went line by line. I mean, to try to give you a simple synopsis is really tough.
So I'll be able to jump in next meeting and catch up.
Without a doubt, what we're going to do is the spreadsheet that we were working off of, that's going to be updated in the next week or so. I can send that out electronically to everybody once we get that additional information so that the facility committee will have a chance to digest it, revisit the things that were prioritized 1 and 2, so that when we come back together in the first week of November, we can hopefully streamline the process and really have a good, good product, a good scope of work to present to the Board of Education.
Beautiful, thank you.
Okay. Dr. Adams?
So get ready for playoffs because our fall season is just about to end. Currently, I was so excited because I was worried about our girls gymnastics team today because they faced Bayshore Islip, which is a 2-school district team, and they're very tough, but we beat them by 3 points. So at this moment, awesome, our girls gymnastics team is in first place. So we will see quite a few of our gymnasts move on to the finals in the county and then hopefully up to the state. Boys golf is also in first place. Girls volleyball is also in first place. Girls swimming is also in first place. So we've had an extremely successful season. Girls soccer is going to make the playoffs. I think they're currently ranked in 3rd place. And our boys football team will, if they hold on for at least one more win and they have 2 more games of the season, including the final game of the season, which happens to be homecoming, they will also be able to make the playoffs. I'm going to pass this over to Ms. Manzi, who will talk to you a little bit about Wellness Weekend. I really hope a lot of people are able to attend. So, Ms. Manzi?
With the guidance with Gail Sancho.
Thank you.
With the guidance with Gail Sancho, she's put together a great Saturday, 9 to 1 at the high school. It's a full wellness festival where community organizations will come together and just promote wellness and health and how our community can engage in good practices. Now, is there something floating around about our health? Is there, I know we had done it, or I shouldn't say that the district, I don't know how that was run. I think it was last year, the year before, where they had a couple of people volunteer that came in with like EKGs and so forth. That wasn't sponsored through us, that was sponsored through somebody else, right? I believe it was sponsored through someone else, but I would need to double check that for you. Is that separate and apart from what we're doing this weekend? This is community organization. No, I understand. I was just because you made me think about that, is that something we're gonna try to bring those organizers back to? Because I thought that was,
It was an excellent resource for our community, I would agree.
yeah, so is it possible we can bring those people back? And
We should definitely look into that, because I do believe there were some students who had some heart issues that were actually brought to the forefront because of that evaluation.
yes, I actually spoke to Linda about that, and I think about roughly 100 students that showed up. And I believe Linda, you said it was close to 20 that were flagged, just to go and, you know.
To prefer the tests, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
So I really, again, I don't know who organized that, but if we could please bring that back again, because I think that's extremely important to share with the community.
It's actually organized by the two families who lost their young sons to heart disease at that age. So they've done it every year, so I'll definitely reach out to see if they are able to put together it again. What's great about the wellness weekend that we're doing this weekend is there's going to be small groups and small rooms for children and adults to learn different things about keeping themselves healthy, both physically and mentally. So we'll have rooms with demonstrations in yoga for kids, yoga for adults, there's kickboxing demonstrations, there's a bunch of different small groups that are going to be discussing wellness that you can choose which rooms you want to go to, and a keynote speaker talking about overall wellness in the community. So we're hoping that a lot of people come out. It's the first time we're running it. It was actually brought up by Connect What Cares, which is the coalition of the community that's looking to keep our community healthier. We're partnering with them to do this year. And Mrs. Santo was really spearheading the whole movement. So I'm hoping people will come out. It's at the high school at 9 a.m. Starting on Saturday.
Thank you.
Mr. Middleton, you want to talk a little bit about what's happening with our smart schools rollout, which is pretty intense.
So, Mr. Davis has, I think, left, but we, this past summer, we were finally approved for our first phase of the Smart Schools Bond. That was something that we had worked with the community and our building administrators, Board of Education on developing a plan. The plan was initially to replace all of our network switches throughout the district. They are roughly between 10 and 12 years old. We received approval and the work started relatively quickly. We've gone through a lot of our elementary schools. I'd like to thank Mr. Allen as well for his help with regards to some of our asbestos clearances. But they have been working evenings, weekends. This past weekend they did part of the high school. We anticipate the entire project to be completed by December, and it'll really increase the opportunities for our kids, via the wireless network, as well as accessing some of the software that we have available.
Thank you, Dean.
I also just want to thank the community. We have really had a very positive rollout of our visitor management system across the district, which our secondary campuses have had for a while. We're asking anyone who visits the campus to have their license ready to be scanned, and it's just giving us a more secure peace of mind that the people who are coming into our building really should be in the building. So I just want to thank the community for helping us keep our campuses safe and secure. And that's all for me.
Board of Ed, I have a question.
Any other administrator have anything to report? Okay, Board of Education.
Yes, I'd like to bring up, I know some people are against this, but I learned what I learned the weekend when those students came. And Linda put out something through the Superintendent's Association at the last minute, maybe a day before or 2 days before, to all the schools in the ISIP cluster.
Yes.
And we had 7 kids come for community service purposes, came to help on Sunday, and we had 2 from Brentwood. This is on a day's notice.
Yeah.
And they had to have community service signed off for their graduation. In Connecticut, our kids, which were wonderful, and all the kids that came were wonderful, didn't have that same obligation. And I think that what Mr. Costa brought to the board, requesting X amount each year, was something that these kids can do, because I can offer community service from now until winter, just at the Arboretum. So it's out there. And when the kids from Sable came, there were 2 that came from the art group, you know, Art Honor Society, and the rest came from, I don't know where the other society, but they were there to do work. And at the end, they asked something written, community service, and they got it. But they came because they knew they had to do it, and they made a commitment to get it done. Now, I don't think of being a problem here because I know I can offer it every weekend, all summer long, all through the fall. And I think it's a good idea that these kids come and do it. They see different things, they learn different things, not just at the Arboretum, but wherever else. You know, and if the word got out there, 2 different organizations, they probably need help and want these kids. So I think it's out there. I think that the kids would benefit from this. I think it's a learning curve. They love their experience at the Arboretum. They learn different things. So I'm just asking that we bring this back again. Have Mr. Costa, because I think that we're hurting our kids. We're not helping them. I know 8th grade there's a problem. I could even find community service for them.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, what about the 8th graders who need
I
confirmation?
can, you know, next year I can. Some of the things that we might be requesting again, because I talked to the director of the Arboretum, and I said that, you know, we could use these kids to do things at the Arboretum, and they need community service. So he's putting out, give me a list of things that I'm requesting that you send out to. It's not going to happen in Connecticut, but it will happen in the other schools because those kids were eager. You know, coming from Brentwood, they wanted the community service signed off and stayed on. And that's a day's notice. I can't imagine if we were out there and they can say, okay, I can come this weekend, and we give them something to do.
It was Thursday night that we actually put it out, so they had 1 day with children.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot out there.
Linda, I'm gonna take advantage of Stu Pollock's invitation.
Awesome.
So if you can set me up 2 buildings on a Friday once a month and make sure that I hit all the schools. Friday seems to be a little bit easier for me to work out.
Okay.
And I can do it on Thursdays with you,
Okay.
but not every Thursday.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute, you do it on Thursdays, Linda?
I do. I block off the whole morning to be here on Thursdays.
All right, so then I want to make sure I go to all of them. So then, yeah, I could attend with you on Thursday.
Okay, good.
All right, that's fine. Yeah, I could do Thursday.
All right. All righty.
Moving on to the final public comment.
Oh, wait, before you go, anybody who lives in the Connecticut district, I'm having a meeting November 8th at the Boston Elementary School at 7 p.m. Anybody's for the opposition of the Island Hills Golf Course being developed. So anybody's interested in attending that meeting, I'll have a few speakers there to speak about and educate us on the impact of the development. Thank you.
All right, anyone for public comment?
Evening.
Good evening.
My name is Neil Feisler. I live in Ronkonkoma. I've been coming here since Sarah Parisi sat right over there, and Helen Maloney sat there and told us everything we were doing wrong. I have a simple who and why. I'd like to know who released all of our kids' medical data at the e-school and why.
And how come we weren't notified?
I didn't give any consent.
I say no PII.
If any of you have kids on, you can go on the parent portal right now, click on your children, and you can see all of their immunization records under its own title.
Since when they were born.
This was never there. I've been here since the beginning of e-school. And, I mean, who did this? Hopefully it's somebody up here.
Could possibly be a violation of HIPAA, maybe?
I'm going to have Mrs. Gail Santo call you because medical records like immunizations, we actually have to report to the state.
Okay.
So the medical records have always been in e-schools. Potentially what may have happened is that the parent portal end of it was not open. The medical records for immunizations have always been put into our e-school data.
E-school was just bought by a private company. So a private company having access to my children's records, I really have a strong disagreement with, and I've never consented to that. So
We have to upload immunization records into the state educational portal. So in
Okay,
order to do that,
And
there's,
that goes straight to state.
that goes
has
straight to
nothing
state.
do
That
with
doesn't
these.
go into e-school.
it actually, that is our vehicle where we report to the state, is through e-schools, it's through the student management system in any school district.
And this is the first time that it's been posted online. And I want, why is it posted? Why is it there?
But what I'm thinking is it has never been turned on for the parent to actually access the record that was on there. But it's been in e-schools, it's been in a student management system for, I'm gonna say probably 20 years at this
Then
point.
maybe we need to send a different way because, as I said, e-school's been bought by a private company. I don't think I'd like my children's records that way.
Okay, I can certainly look into it with you.
Yeah, I agree 100%. It's interesting you said that because I didn't ask any questions, but my school nurse came to me the other day in Brentwood and asked me if I had access to the medical records of my students, which I've never had before. And in e-school I did, as a teacher, but I've never had them before. So I'm wondering if e-school changed something where the records are now accessible by different people because it was possibly purchased. I don't know. Either way, we need to look into it and find out what happened. And
It's like I
somehow
said,
find a way to correct it.
it sounds like a violation of HIPAA law.
It's interesting that you brought that up because, you know, it was just done last week, Thursday or Friday, that she asked me.
I wasn't even aware.
I wasn't
Neither,
either.
I
until-
haven't checked.
I-
Well,
now I'm starting
if
to
you
put
have your
pieces
parent, if
together.
you have your parent portal, it's the third tab when you click on your child.
I never thought to look on our parent portal. I didn't put two and two together until you just said it. So now I gotta go back and ask some questions of my nurse too as well.
I'm gonna give you my card if you can call me and I'll show, we'll look into the regulation.
Oh, well, actually, you probably still have my number. I was the parent whose child was left behind about 3 years ago. I have track, which I don't think we ever amended that, but be that as it may. But sure, I'll give you my number.
Thank you.
You got it.
I have one more question. We have a boy on the gymnastics team. Oh, by the way, tennis, girls' tennis is going to counties.
Oh,
I
awesome.
just found that out.
First seed girls tennis.
So, and we noticed that you didn't mention. But we have a boy on the gymnastics team, and I'd like to know, as parents and as a district, I know that you guys have been super supportive of this boy. The entire school has, the coaches, the board, and the administration. But I understand that Section 11 is giving us a hard time with this boy playing in exhibition games, not even for points, but exhibition games.
He's not on the team.
He's not on the team. He's not
They
allowed.
won't allow him on the team.
So can you put out something that we can write to as a district, as parents? That's like reverse discrimination. I want to write to Section 11.
You can contact Section 11.
Okay, but I don't know anything about, like, who I would contact, an address, something. Is there anyone on the board that can get me that information,
It's
and
a
I'll
Section
spread it
11
around
website.
so that we can
Go
all...
to Section 11 website.
Call their
I
phone
did, I
number.
looked all around, I couldn't find a name of a person to write to, or an address.
Tom Combs is the president.
Tom Combs, okay, and I have to look for, the only thing they had for contact us was like a little form thing that you send through.
No,
They
just
have an
contact
office
him.
with a phone number, I believe.
Yeah,
believe
they
Yeah, that I'm not familiar with that website either.
with a phone number.
Yeah, well, I wasn't familiar with the website, but I'll look around some more, but that's who we have to contact, correct? Now, is there anybody else, like, I know there's a state agency that governs that too, right?
Yes, we were just informed that we as a school district can now appeal to the state governing body, which has to happen through the superintendent. So I called the president of NISFA today
Okay.
to find out what I have to do to appeal that.
And we are doing that, right? Great, awesome. All right,
So Linda, can you give Eileen the contact information so she could spread the word? Can
I'd
you-
like to write to both of them, Section
Yeah,
11
get
and the
involved.
NISMA. I'd like to spread that word around,
Yep.
because that's almost reverse discrimination, and the boys should be allowed on
It
the
is.
team.
It's not almost. It is.
Yeah, all right, it is,
It
you're right,
is.
it is. It's reverse discrimination, it's bull, I won't say that
He
word.
was on the team last year.
Yeah, he's been on the team since like 8th grade, I think. I remember coming and
No,
watching
last year
him.
was his first year.
Was it? But I remember him practicing with the girls one of the years that I was up here, and I just watched. He was amazing.
He's very good.
So I can't imagine, he's not even looking to play for points. I
Right.
spoke to his father. He's not looking to even play in the
Correct.
competitions.
Correct.
So that's a problem.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Well, I'm glad, I hope his parents are suing the crap out of them. But as a community, I think we should all stand behind this boy and fight for him.
Okay, I can get you the information.
All right, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks.
else? Okay. Can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you for coming out tonight. Next one, 6:40.